because I was told in our ceremonies that these medicines will help you in life if you use it with philosophies, with the stories that were given to us, with songs. Because as a native person, these teachings I'm talking about here, when you come to an urban area, they kind of get pushed to the side because we have a lot of distractions. There's things in our home like television, computers. We have to deal with trying to educate our children, trying to keep a roof over our heads. We have to deal with trying to keep food on our tables. And if you're a person that comes from a good, hard-working family, then we look at those options like welfare. That's not an option for us because we were taught to work hard to make our way in this world. And my thinking and the way I believe is that when I found help for myself and I chose to look towards God, and I believed so much with no doubts in there, I got to that point where my faith and belief became knowing that the Creator is going to take care of it that way. Then when I started using these items for my own family, I practiced with my own children, and I watched them start going in a different direction. And I seen them. I just witnessed one of my daughters, Leah, graduate with a master's degree at the University of South Dakota. I went over there this past May 2010 and watched her get her diploma, that master's degree. When she was young, I would sit here and I would tell them my visions for them, that one day I'm going to see them graduate like that. And sure enough, it manifested itself. I saw it with my own eyes. I seen my words come true. Your thoughts just don't come from thin air. Your thoughts come from the Creator Himself or herself, however you want to see it. The divine dichotomy also comes from your relatives that went before you, that went back to the spirit world. That's where we came from. God's holy home of unconditional love is the way I describe it. That holy home, the brightest light, the brightest love, that's where we all came from. We left a seat there in that big, wonderful spiritual family table. That seat's still waiting for us. But we chose to come and be born to our parents in this lifetime. We had a certain purpose, the reason why we wanted to come down here in this human form. But somehow, some way, when we're born into this life as a human, in this human form, that memory is wiped from us so we could truly experience this human existence. That's the first step. Those thoughts that come to your mind, they're not just coming from thin air. They're coming from many different sources of love. And then the second step of creation is your word. Your word. Your word is expressing that first step of creation, your thought. So whatever you speak, that's what you're thinking. So people that run around and they spout out cuss words and this and that, it talks a lot about what they're thinking, what their thoughts are. A lot of times your thoughts come from your teachings, your upbringing. Your words express your home life. Your words express how your parents brought you up in this world. If you were brought up in a traditional family like that, this instrument, this drum, is one of the oldest memories that a native person has. And they say it even goes deeper than that, because when you're in your mother's womb, her heart is beating above you, and that's the drumbeat of life. And that goes on from generation to generation. So it goes so deep that it wakes up the spiritual memory, what the scientists call your DNA. My folks call it spiritual memory. They say that we literally have been here before. And they say like a past life, there's many different ways of looking at it. I look at that fire and I can see many memories. Was it times that I was here before, or was it my parents and their experience and their parents, my grandparents, all the way back into as far back as the beginning of my clan system. So what I would really like to get the point across to counselors and therapists that are dealing with Native people: don't ever try to pick up these things and like if you know something about it, because even myself, I'm very careful how I use these these instruments. I'm very careful. I never say I can do this or I can do that. I always leave it up to the Creator. I know the Creator's involved. He's the one that this belongs to the Creator. I'm just taking care of it for Him. So in that way, these things I'm sharing with you. I'm sharing with you for your own knowledge, so that along with the written information, you might have a better idea of where Native people are coming from. That there are reasons why they utilize and pick up substances that they might abuse. That there is generational trauma, all those things I talked about from when the first European came over. We were shoved onto foreign lands, and then we were forced onto reservations. Our way of the role of lives were taken away from us. Our ability to hunt and support our family was destroyed. So the only way that we could survive was living off commodities that were handed to us by the government. And I say way back in those days with the birth of welfare in this country. And if you look in different areas of our community, those things of welfare that are given from the government is just enough for them to survive, but not enough for them to get out of that situation they're in. Very few through education make their way out. They use their intelligence. So education is a good way. So in that way, I say when you deal with Native folks, it's good to always let them know that you have some training and you heard and are tapped into some curriculum that gives you a little bit of an idea, but don't ever try to say you're an expert, or don't try to use these items for any of those purposes. Encourage them to use it. Encourage them that most of them will know something about it. So in that way, this is to enlighten you. This is for you to enhance your knowledge, enhance your perception with dealing with tribal peoples.
Thank you so much. That was very informative, and I think will help our therapists get a closer understanding of the importance for the Native client of understanding their heritage. Thank you.